after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party.
On Tuesday.
Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric, Paging.
It's actually
Welcome
right.
to the after-
It's actually right this week with DJ Eric Pagey. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, it's the OGs. It's the OG after party.
If you don't
It
know
is,
what that stands for, it stands for Original Gangsters, and Eric is dressed up as a gangster.
is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, the snapback, the grills.
You want beef?
knuckle
You want
dusters.
beef? You got beef? Whatever it was he said.
Well, we do call you the Arrowverse Keemstar, so you're fitting in.
Oh, it is what it is. Geez, we got some super chats. We'll get to those in a minute, but want to go over our topics for today's after party. We have a Pageys Pick, which who knows how that's going to go.
Oh, get
Who
ready
knows
to
how
rock
that's
and
going to
roll.
go. I don't care that it says Tuesday. The whole intro is just kind of a joke anyway. Doesn't really matter. But I saw that. I saw that Canadagraphs pointed that out. I might do a remix and give Pagey give him some bars in it or something.
No, I'd rather have a beatbox solo.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking a minute and a half of beatbox solo somewhere in there. I think
Sounds
that could
good.
work. With some Eric harmonics over the top, maybe some acapella.
Oh yeah, some of that. That'll be really good. Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
Pageys Pick today. Yeah, we got Pageys Pick for the show as usual. We're going to be talking about some renewals and passing out some L's for some people, particularly a big chunk of the YouTube community. We'll throw those L's out for them. Talk a little bit about some additional episodes that we're going to be seeing on one of our shows. Actually, there's a couple shows, but we're going to talk about one in particular. We're also going to go over the Justice League news that came out that includes the rating as well as the photo, which was anticlimactic, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. And
you mean the photo that made me go, do I need new glasses?
yeah, that photo. And then we'll talk a bit about the Flash trailer if you guys have any questions about that. And of course, Batwoman from this week. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So those are the topics. We'll see how we get through them. Let's do the super chats quickly because I see Gary jumping in right away. Is the Flash getting delayed later than March? Maybe. You never know, Gary. You never know. I
know it is delayed later than March
first. Yeah. Geek information 49 super chat and a Team Eric member. What's up, guys? Hope all is well. Have you forgotten about the fairy bread? Did I forget about it, or did I just choose to ignore the fairy bread? What do you think? What do you think the solution for that is? Do I have to actually order some from Australia or what?
No, just go to the shops and get a loaf of bread, some butter, and some sprinkles.
Yeah. Laura here. I've been a member for a year. Yeah, talk about OGs. Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate that. Stay tuned. Actually, Paige and I were discussing some additional content for Team Eric members coming up in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to be working on something, and hopefully you guys like it.
We can confirm it is not America's Next Chocker. So don't expect, it's not a game show. So don't get your hopes up.
Speaking of game shows, I actually won the game show on your channel if people haven't watched the video yet.
Yeah, that was speaking of people that just don't show up, Ben just didn't show up for that last round and a half or something. Hey, if you were there and watched it live, you realize, I don't know if Ben gave up, but I don't think he did. I think he just effed up. And Eric came in with is it a wet sail? I don't know. He came in with a sail of some variety, but it had more wind behind it than good old Ben's. It was interesting.
Yeah. That's, we'll go check it out on Page's channel. It is a game show where he came up with these ridiculously hard, like so hard. The questions were so difficult. They were so tough.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I knew you were coming in with that. All right, multi-topic discussion with the $5 super chat. I heard season 7 of The Flash will have more than one villain. Do you guys think Batwoman will do the same this season? I mean, I'm assuming that this is the plan with a lot of the shows. It's just more interesting to have multiple villains. But I do know that Eric Wallace has made it like he came into the series with the concept of doing multiple villains. So I have no idea what Caroline Dries wants to do over at Batwoman, but I think we're probably going to see more than one villain this season. I don't know how they're going to work it in. I know they're not doing the same format as The Flash. Any thoughts on this? Do you think we'll see multiple villains on Batwoman or?
Well, yeah, they've already confirmed there's multiple on Batwoman because you have Sapphire and then Black Mask.
Mm-hmm. So you're thinking Black Mask is going to be another big like storyline then?
Yeah, and they set him up this week with just a little one-liner.
Yeah.
So I think like he'll probably get revealed mid-season finale, or where the mid-season finale would normally be around that area. And with the Flash, I'd say, yeah, I think they're gonna mislead us with Godspeed, which I hope they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And someone else is the villain, and Godspeed is to actually team up with Team Flash to help take him down. That's what I prefer to see. So technically, Godspeed is a villain, but he's more an antagonist, and then there's an actual proper big bad, but you can count them both, so there's two.
Malcolm here with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. You thought on Tim on Titans Plus. Your thoughts on Tim on Titans Plus? They can't handle the storylines. Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, and I actually probably should have put it up as a topic today, but I just didn't think about it. I think it's confirmed they cast Tim Drake on Titans, right? I mean, it's been confirmed, right? I thought at first it wasn't, and then it was.
Yep.
Okay. So I just think it's too many characters on that show. They haven't even finished or properly handled the ones they have already. I just don't know how they're going to handle the ones they have now. And we talk about like the balancing and juggling of characters. You look at something like Legends, and no matter about my criticism on the show, they do actually make it feel like everybody on the show has a story going on or something happening with them, even if it isn't my favorite. I don't think Titans last season even touched on Beast Boy really. Like it's like they forgot about some of their characters.
Well, like, you can argue they haven't touched on, like Raven had some stuff in season 1, but the only one that's really had consistent storytelling through the seasons has been Dick Grayson.
Yeah, it's been, but see, that's the thing is they're adding in all these Batman characters. It's becoming the Batman show. It's a Batman show. I
think I said it on my live stream, whenever it was, my most recent one. It's pretty much fan service, the show. It's not an actual show, if that makes sense.
Mm.
It just feels like fan service, which is all well and good if you have a story to go alongside it. But it just like they wasted Deathstroke, like Nightwing. Just the story felt drawn out and it just sort of happened. At least it looks like they're doing something with Starfire this season, which is good.
Yeah,
Beast Boy's wasted. Don't get me started on Hawk and Dove. And now we have Tim Drake and Barbara Gordon coming into this season. And granted, it doesn't look like Barbara Gordon necessarily needs a story, if that makes sense. Maybe like they can just do it through dialogue. But Tim Drake, if he's the new Robin, then he has to, and I mean, he has to have some development story there because
I mean, think about the roller coaster of stuff that's going to have to happen in this season to make everything sort of work. It's like so much stuff. It really is weird to me. So that's my thoughts on that. Gary, because you're using a word that's probably going to get my video flagged, I'm not going to pull up your super chat, unfortunately. Thank you for super chatting, but I've said this before. Keep the super chats like PG level.
Yeah. So we're not the Snyder Cut.
Right, we're not. So
we're not edgy, so.
Be like PG-13 light, because otherwise I have to deal with
bunch
of YouTube red tape.
We are Justice League.
Yeah. And no, I'm not mad at you, but in the future, like, you know how the super chats go, Gary. We talked about it, but yeah, I'm not mad at you at all. Flash Paradox became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Make sure you check out my Lucifer content as well as early access videos and all the badges and emojis that you get. Scott here with a $5 super chat. I think with the show's getting renewed, we'll get a crossover between Barry Clark and Sarah next season. New Trinity, maybe Ryan, maybe. We're going to talk about the renewals first, so we'll dive into that a bit more. But I have to say, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of L's to be passed around to some people here. But thank you for the super chat there. All right, so I think we're through with those super chats. So let us go ahead and jump into this first story. Ooh. And this one isn't super edgy. This is just,
it's a bit edgy.
No, not really. Not too edgy. So the CW renews Walker, Riverdale, The Flash, and 9 more series. Now, first, before we even get into this news, I want to say that none of this really surprised me. Did this surprise you at all? Any of these?
Dynasty did.
Okay. Any reason why?
I thought it was their last season this season. For some reason, I thought it was their last season, but or Dynasty, everyone would call. I call it Dynasty. I think that's how it's meant to be said.
Yeah.
But, that surprised me when I was on there. I think I was the only one that surprised me. I think, but that's because I thought it was ending. I thought it was already ending.
Yeah. So, but other than that, you were pretty much like on board with all these renewals.
Yeah, nothing there.
All right. So the shows that got renewed that are important to us, we're getting Batwoman season 3, The Flash season 8, and Legends of Tomorrow season 7. Supergirl and Black Lightning, this is their last season, so they were not going to get renewed. But these are the 3 that we're getting. I always say Legends surprises me, but actually it doesn't really surprise me anymore. And like logically, this does make sense considering the situation we're in. So outside of the fact that we're still dealing with COVID and stuff, continuing a show that already has a cast that's there, ready to work, with sets ready to go, with people ready to write stories, I don't think it is a big surprise that they would renew Legends. So I'm going to stop saying it surprises me because I think that it kind of makes sense here. You talked about, I think on Twitter, that Grant was supposed to renew his contract for this upcoming season 8. So you're not surprised that season 8 got renewed, or that we might get a season 9, is what you were saying?
Well, he was saying it was a 2-season thing, and I don't think the CW would just try and make it 1 season extra. They'd be trying to get him down for 2 seasons, and I think he'd be fine doing 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they've announced this renewal, I think, doesn't confirm, but it definitely heavily suggests that season 9 is in the bag as well.
So this does mean we're going to get a really good milestone episode for Legends then, if we're going to get a season 7.
Well, that's why I think they got season 7, because then they get that syndication thing, that 100-episode syndication,
right?
Which just means more money.
Yeah. So let's pass out the L's to all the channels and people that thought that Wonder Woman's ratings were going to affect it getting a 3rd season. Batwoman, I mean, getting a 3rd season. I was thinking about Wonder Woman because I think Ben shared an article about Wonder Woman a second ago. So anyway, Batwoman season 3.
Well, I'm just trying to think. So they've renewed 12 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Stargirl's still up for renewal because they didn't renew that. And then they have Kung Fu and Republic of Sarah, so that would make it 16 shows.
Yeah.
And Superman and Lois, it's 17. And then potential of Wonder Girl and Naomi, that's 19.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Painkiller, just 20. So there's 20 shows in the game next year.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure.
Well, I mean, starting in the fall, right? So these are the fall renewals for the upcoming season. So yeah,
20 potential shows there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So, but all the L's passed out to the channels that thought Batwoman wasn't getting another season based on the ratings. And I've been saying, particularly for over a year now, that the ratings for the CW shows are not their primary focus. They don't look at those live ratings, and that it is a consideration, but it's not the thing they care about the most when it comes to these shows. So when all of them were saying, oh, well, Batwoman's going to get canceled because the ratings are low and blah, 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 whatever, I kept saying, no, it's not the case. They're going to look at other things. And all those people making those videos are probably having a heart attack right now because this is a big L for them. And it's like, regardless if you like the show or not, like, it's getting canceled due to the live viewership is just not a thing for CW shows in 2021. It's just not. So it's just weird to me. Like, were you surprised that Batwoman was coming back? Because I wasn't. I thought for sure with it ties to HBO Max. So I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. But
no, they paid for the character. They paid for the rights for the character. It was always going to be there for 3 or 4 seasons minimum. So the fact that people even like making the videos are just they know they're like anyone with half a brain.
Yeah.
That was making those videos knows, okay, well, I'm just doing this because idiots will click on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. UNE Music in the chat is saying they're fine, they're doing fine, whatever. They're lying, though. That's the thing. They're making content that's purposely meant to make people mad and to spread just misinformation about shows. So I don't care if they're doing fine. Like if you don't like something, that's fine. But especially there's a lot of bigger channels that know that those live viewership numbers don't count towards the renewal for CW shows. They know that. Yeah, they're lying because they know those numbers don't count. That's why. These are channels that know that they're just spreading misinformation. It's the weirdest thing ever to me.
Well, they're lying or they're being naive. It's one of the two.
Yeah, but I don't believe that some of the bigger channels that have done content like this for years don't know how the game works. You know what I mean?
Well, like in the end, even though like I know they just make the videos just to like, it's weird that you sit there and just watch something to hate it, like weekly.
Yeah,
like I struggle to watch something weekly that I have some mild interest in. So I just sit there and watch something that you hate for, in some cases, like no views. Like some of the people don't even get that much views. But
it does surprise me the amount of people that come to the content that I make that seem to also enjoy the people that make that horrible stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is that sure, it's annoying it's there, but at the end of the day, and we said it last week, like I don't really blame the content creator too much because people
I don't either. I just think that the ones that know better, I mean, this is like not great news for them.
Like it's like those people that are like 40 years old or 30 years old, and they unbox like toys made for 3-year-olds because they made a video once and they got 1 million views. It's like, well, I'll keep doing it. You know what I mean? It's sort of in the same ballpark.
Haley, I don't have a problem with like I'm not here to police other, like if somebody wants to watch another channel, they're entitled to. Like I don't have an issue with that.
I'm eating mini baked pretzels. Just a little snack pack of them.
Yeah, mini baked. That sounds delicious, actually. I just find it weird that there are people that do enjoy these shows that go out of their way to watch content regularly of people that hate the shows. I don't know. It's just me. I don't do that. Like I don't go to different sources. I mean, yes, I've stumbled upon stuff before, but it's not something that I go and look for. You know what I mean? So, because you can't search on YouTube without getting grouped in with them. Like if you type in something that we're doing, your video is going to show up in a list with all the other content like that. You know what I mean? So it's just really, really strange to me. But yeah, I don't care if they're stressed out about it. I don't care if they're not, they don't care that they were wrong. At the end of the day, if you're going out of your way to say a show is going to fail because its viewership numbers are low, and you have people like myself and many others saying that those numbers don't matter, and then the show gets renewed. I mean, are we just ignoring reality? I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, great news there. We're getting more seasons of our favorite shows.
You heard it here first, everyone. Next season, Batwoman season 3, Batwoman will be in the title of every Eric
every episode of every video I do. All right, we got some super chats before we move into the next topic. Crazy Cat Lady Gamer Reviewer, $5 super chat. Team Eric member, tomorrow's my birthday. Happy early birthday. Hope you have a good one. And I cannot believe Batwoman can't not believe Batwoman.
She might have run out of characters, maybe. Not too sure.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Batwoman in a little bit, so stick around for that. I have a couple opinions about it. Overall, I was actually happy with Victor, but we'll see. Some people may not be too happy with it. Garrett, the super chat. Why do you think the shows will get delayed? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, Gary. Did I say the shows were going to get delayed? I was kind of joking earlier. So no, I don't have any real information on that. So yeah, I like no opinion. Naruto with a $5 super chat. Were you guys surprised Luke didn't know who Victor Zsasz was? I mean, he worked with Batman, right? Oh, do we want to jump into this now? Do you have any thoughts on this one? Because I've seen this question pop up on a couple of other comments about Victor being a mysterious character, even though he's a Batman villain. Are we assuming that he was a Batman villain before now? Because he might not have been. Right?
He said he versed Batman, but how long has Luke been working with Bruce?
That's a good point.
Like Luke's not like he's not 50 years old.
Well, when I say versus Batman, does that mean that Batman is actually the person that put him away? Because I mean, just a random street thug, I don't think that Luke would know who that person is. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know. They said that he versed Batman, but I don't know how long was he when did that fight take place?
Because wasn't his father basically Batman's right-hand man for all that time, except for the very end, right? Before Batman.
He died.
Well, no. I mean, but he was working with Batman up until that point, is what we're seeing.
Yeah. So I think they maybe need to, because I don't know if they've ever mentioned it. I can't remember. They need to sort of like flesh out when did Luke, how old was he, and like when did he start working with Batman? Because I don't think that's been made clear. Because he's not like he's 40 years old. I think he's meant to be, I guess, like 30 or something on the show. At this point, not too sure.
All right. Sheldor here with the $5 super chat. I have an early prediction that Wanda will really get out of control in episode 8. Ends with a portal in the sky opening up and Doctor Strange stabs. You know, the one thing I have to say about WandaVision is at the very least, it keeps you wondering what's going to happen. I love the mysteries and stuff. Paige, did you say you didn't care for mysteries and shows? It wasn't your favorite thing? Or I think we were talking about like mysteries and shows. And
I like mysteries when they're relevant. If you just force them, then no, I don't like them. But
so, like, for example, the Savitar reveal that took like almost an entire season was a bit forced, right?
Well, yeah, because that had a shit outcome. But like, if it's a mystery that serves the purpose of the show, because the show's about the mystery,
right?
So that's why it works. Like Flash season 1 works because the mystery's there. Flash season 2 works because the mystery's there as well. So as long as the mystery works, then it's 110% fine. Bring it on. When it's forced, that's when it doesn't work, and you're like, "Wow, why'd you do this? I want my life back that you wasted."
So here we go. This is from like last season. I vaguely remember last season. Luke stated that he worked for Bruce for 4 years. So that's not a lot. That's not a lot of time.
I just looked up. Lucius Fox died in 2015. Yeah. So yeah.
So there we go. All right, let me click over. We're going to do another topic, and then I have a question from previously that I do want to address over on Twitter from a super chat last week, and we'll get into that in a moment. But this kind of falls in line with what we're talking about previously, and that is that we're going to be getting additional episodes. Now, you briefly talked about your thoughts on this, about additional episodes a couple of weeks ago, about, you know, maybe seeing some or whatever. And it says the CW's picked up more episodes of freshman series Superman and Lois. The network is ordering 2 additional episodes of Superman and Lois, bringing its total episode count to 15. So thoughts on this? Any general thoughts on this before I know you're probably going to do a video on all this. So just general ideas on this. Are you happy about this?
Well, yeah, it was the only show that, at least in regards to like the DC stuff, that would have gotten any sort of extension. So it doesn't surprise me too much that it got that extension. I'm interested to see where they place those episodes, because you have to think that maybe they're filler episodes, maybe.
Well, that's what Thomas says here. Wouldn't the additional episodes called filler because it's a little late to add more?
Well, it's not too late. They're only on episode 5, I think, or episode 4 or 5. So they're only at this point now with the new episodes a third of the way through the season. So they would only have scripts up to like probably episode 10, maybe. So they can tinker with it and stuff like that. And they would have known about the additional episodes ages ago. They would have known about them probably when the show started filming, if not earlier.
Yeah. So I feel like for me, if they're smart about this, they can use those extra episodes to give us more backstory on characters, more context and things like that. Because a lot of things with filler episodes is you don't really get a lot of their filler. So you don't get a lot of things that matter later on. But I think this series could actually do something proper with this. Because I feel like if we're only filming episode 5, they still have time to write up something, you know. And you know, do you think it's possible they got this news before it was released to the press? Maybe they knew like a week ago or something that they were going to get more episodes, or do you feel like this comes out right when they find out? Because I feel like that would be a little weird.
Oh, no, would have known ages ago. At least the showrunner would have known.
Right.
Like I'm not saying that like the guy that like the boom mic operator or something on the set knows about it, but the showrunner would have known about it a while ago, and the writers room, or at least the people writing the episodes. So yeah, I don't think it's news there. So I think it'll be implemented properly. You probably won't even be able to pick out what's the episodes that were added.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the thing is, I'm sure people are going to do some digging to try and find out. So they'll come with the video reviews and be like, this was a filler. This was one of the ones that was added later on. Maybe we'll know. Maybe we'll be able to tell. I don't know. We'll have to see. So anyway, there's that news. Stop at that one and do a couple more of these super chats. Then I'm going to answer the question from over on Twitter. Multi-topic talk with a $5 super chat. When you guys are uploading videos, what is your category? I don't really know what that means. I think he's talking about like what YouTube categorizes us as, like vlogs or entertainment or whatever.
I put mine as entertainment because I'm the most entertaining person. I remember back in the day. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember this, or at least have the YouTube memory to remember this. But you know who Woody's gamer tag is? Have you ever heard of him? Okay, so he's like a Call of Duty YouTuber. Okay. Then he turned into a podcaster. He cheated the system back in the day and would put his videos into pets and animals, so he would be in trending.
Oh, I remember you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then YouTube cracked down, and then if they saw you putting your like miscategorizing your videos, they would, I don't know what they did. I think they just sort of like demonetized you or something like that. But yeah, mine's in I think entertainment, or it's like entertainment and something.
Yeah, I think mine is entertainment and news, I think is what it is, or something like that.
It's something. It's entertainment or entertainment and something. It's just like it goes default. Like I don't have to select it every video.
I think I think now they've gotten good at like being able to determine what category something goes in. So
they probably just tell by your title with the video and the tag.
Daddy hates the metal with a $2 super chat here. I don't know if is that somebody we know with a different name. Will Hush come back for revenge for getting kicked? Do you think we're going to see Hush again this season, or do you think that's
maybe it's time? But he's in was he in Arkham? Did they say Arkham he went to, or did they say
he's
Blackgate?
Locked back up again.
He's in one of them, so I think he's in Arkham. So they open the door and he's had his face punched off, the Bruce Wayne. So I don't know what face will he come back in next, or is he going to come back as Hush, but a better mask because it's going to be better made for longer episodes.
This is the best category, by the way, ever right here. Shocking tutorials. Perfect.
As long as the H is still there.
Sonic Plush with a $2 super chat. Thoughts on Zach's comments on fans not being toxic? We're going to talk about like the Snyder Cut and the rating and all that, and I will address that briefly. I made a comment about it on Twitter. I feel like every time we talk about something drama related, it's always connected, I feel like, to the Snyder Cut community or something like that, with the exception of Batwoman, which I think that's what it is, but we'll talk about that in a few. Thank you for the super chat. Crazy Cat Lady Gamer Reviewer, $5 super chat. I thought the victor would be too violent for the show. It's all too violent for the show. I think they did a good job. I actually was surprised at the headshot in the episode that was shown full on in frame. I didn't know they could do that on primetime television, but
maybe it's kind of like the blood splatter and everything like that.
It must be, because I was actually really shocked that they did that. Captain J with a $2 super chat. Would Ruby come back, recast Kate, or die off screen? So I have a theory about this, and I'll talk about it now because this isn't really relevant to the episode. I think that if Kate comes back, which I think is a high probability it could happen, that she's going to be disfigured. They're going to recast her as somebody else. For some reason, she's going to have to look different, and she's not going to be able to continue to be Batwoman. So they'll just be able to write her story off, and she'll be able to leave the show without ever having to worry about bringing her back on later. That's just my thoughts on it. Do you have any opinions on this at all?
If she comes back, they'll recast her, because it's not going to be Ruby. If it is Ruby, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if it's her, because of the way that it looks like the relationship between her and the show's production is. So, I don't think she's going to die off screen, guys. I'd be really surprised. If they're going to kill her off screen, she would have died in the plane crash.
Yeah. So I think something is definitely amiss about all that, or afoot. Scott with a $5 super chat. I love Legends of Supergirl season 1 to 3, but season 4 of both these shows were garbage. And season 5 of the shows was only okay. Do y'all agree? I'm
just trying to think. Supergirl. Okay, yeah, Legends. Season 4 was.
I think Supergirl season 3 was my favorite season of Supergirl.
What's Supergirl season 4? Who's the villain?
Wasn't that the whole I can't even think of it now. Is
it the Ancient Liberty one?
Yes. Yeah. No,
that's the best season of Supergirl by far.
Yeah.
It improved every single season, and then season 5 jumped off a cliff and went, "Whoa, we're crap again."
Yeah, I completely forgot, because they changed stories, because I think that was the season where everything was like,
season 3 was the one.
Season 3 was they lost the showrunner, but it's like, no, I don't mean changed it because of drama. I mean, like, it started out with like the Agent Liberty thing, and then it shifted in the middle and it became something else. And then I felt like the Agent Liberty stuff came back at the end. That's right? That's how it worked, right?
Season 4 was the best season, I think, clearly.
So season 5 of the shows was only okay.
Well, season 5 dropped down. Season 5 was probably my second least favorite season. Season 1's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before it was it got better each season. So season 1 was the worst. Season 2 was a bit better. Season 3 was a bit better. Then season 4 was far better. And then season 5 went yikes and went down to about season 2, if not just below season 2 level.
And I would say Legends, my favorite season of Legends was 2, and 3 was okay. I was not a fan of season 1, and I just really had a problem with season 4. So
yeah, season 2 or 3, yeah. Like Legends, the back half of Legends season 1 is good, but the first half struggles to get the tone of what the show was. But yeah.
All right, so I'm going to talk about this. I'm not going to pull it up. I'll read it out here because it's over on Twitter. Well, it's just a lot. It's a lot of text here. So there's a video with a theory saying that Superman and Lois is starting its own thing outside of the Arrowverse with Superman and Lois, Wonder Girl, Naomi, and hopes for a Green Lantern spinoff with Diggle. This is also from Gamerman X9000. He super chatted me last week. A Green Lantern spinoff with Diggle and a Batman show with Warren Christie. Even says the reason behind Supergirl and Black Lightning ending and Green Arrow and the Canaries not getting picked up as Painkiller will probably be the same. So Flash Legends Batwoman will be ending soon. He thinks that Arrowverse has lost all respect from the general public and Warner Brothers wants to move in a new direction. Do not agree. You asked if I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think that that's a really weird. I'm not saying it can't happen. It's just a lot of hoops to jump through.
I think it's complete BS. I think whoever came up with that theory has a fork in their brain. So it makes no sense. For those that need to realize, the Arrowverse kept DC and a lot of Warner Brothers television alive. It was struggling. It kept it alive. The CW crumbles. The CW absolutely crumbles without it. The only show that really helps them is Riverdale. Outside of that, and I guess Supernatural to an extent. Yeah. So that theory is it's one that I wouldn't even spend time reading.
Yeah, honestly, I don't truly understand how you could even draw that conclusion. Yeah. We have some more super chats here. I'm going to scroll back up. Hopefully I've got back to the point where it started. Staggervorth, the 49 super chat, is the Hush storyline but on Batman or Batwoman still relevant at this point? I mean, it could be, because now he actually has a reason to come back and go after her.
And be angry at Ryan.
Yeah. Because before it was just a layover from like last season, but now there's actual beef. You got beef? You want beef? There's beef between the two of them.
Eric,
so yeah.
It's a red meat-free month, okay? Can you not mention beef? Seriously.
Sheldor with the $2 super chat. Where do you think Flash could go in season 7 and 8? Great day. So season 7, we kind of have an idea of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be building a speed force. We're going to be dealing with the mirror dimension in the beginning. And then we're going to get a couple other like villains that they've been teased or whatever for the show. As far as season 8 goes, it's way too early to determine. I can tell you what I don't want to see. I don't want to see Iris pregnant. I don't want to see a young baby introduced on the show. I don't want to see a bunch of new characters added until we've resolved storylines for the ones we have. I'd like to see Team Citizen or the Citizen Paper be a bigger plot in the season. I'd like to see Barry and Team Flash get kind of back to the basics on what they've been doing, because I feel like we're still reeling from the Crisis thing. So that's what I'd like to see, but I can't totally predict what's going to happen based on what we know. Do you have any thoughts on this at all, or?
Well, it's hard to tell because season 7 hasn't even started. There'll probably be some like seeds planted at some point in season 7, but can't really guess on season 8 until we see some part of season 7.
Yeah. Jay Bradley Rollins with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Ryan knowing Victor was so whack. I didn't really have a problem with it.
My issue around, I thought the way that they did it was a bit lame.
It was. I will agree with that.
They should have done it that she knew him from Blackgate. To me, that is the only option. The fact that they did it like, oh, it's a friend of a friend. I'm like, no, just say that you ran into him.
Like an ex of someone that he knew is how like she got in, right?
Yeah, like, it was like that's a very long-winded way to explain how you know them. The only way I could even think of as to why they would do that is so he didn't like automatically recognize her, but then again, she just explains who she is anyway when they meet. So why didn't they just make it that she?
But that's the thing, is the fact that he didn't automatically recognized her. It means anybody could show up and say, "I want you to take a hit on someone." Like it was such a weird thing. Any person, and actually, it would have probably been better for it to be someone that he didn't know to show up and say, "Hey, I want you to do this job for me. I have connections. They told me you're the guy to talk to." I mean, how else does he get business? Like he meets a lot of people that he doesn't know.
Wouldn't it be smarter to send Mary because she's rich and would have the money? Makes sense to go, yeah, you got to kill this person.
Well, the thing is, the reason why they didn't do that is because of the twist at the end with her being one of the targets or whatever of the hit, which we didn't know that then. So we wouldn't have known that. It would have made more sense for her to go, but then that would have like screwed up the storyline for the episode. It was so I don't think her knowing Victor was whack. I think the way it was handled probably.
Yeah, because they set it up that she was in Blackgate, where it's very likely, not all the time, like Victor probably spends, if he gets captured, probably straight to the asylum, but at some point it would have been a Blackgate, you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very easy to believe.
So Gary with 1.9 super chat. I think they won't keep the March 2nd date. Do you? Yes.
Yeah, Gary, mate, they're gonna keep it.
Yeah, I think so.
They're gonna keep it, mate.
Like, don't worry, Gary. It's gonna be fine. We'll see the Flash very soon. We are very close to the release date here. Okay, we got another super chat here. Oh, Gary sent a super sticker. Thank you so much, Gary. Those are always fun. Shaunak says, "What cameos you want to see for Legends 100th episode?" Oof.
Captain Cold.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. The Hawks. Let's get Hawk Girl and Hawk Man back.
Ray Palmer.
You think that's going to happen after all the drama that went down after he left the show? I don't know about that.
Guggenheim's not on there anymore.
Oh, that's true.
And a lot of people think it was Guggenheim that wrote him off.
Yeah. So I'd love to. You know what? I would love to see. I'd love to see some of the Arrow characters come back from like previous years, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Scott here with the $2 super chat. Will Despero be the villain for Legends?
I don't know.
Too early to determine. Let's see here. Any more super chat? Yeah, we have one more, and then I guess we'll get into Pageys Pick.
Oh, yeah.
Arrowverse talks with a $2 super chat. You think Flash season 8 is going to have that cinematic look? So here's what we have to remember. The Flash is not part of the HBO Max deal. Do you think there's any possibility that could ever change? Or do you think it's always going to be connected with the Netflix deal for them?
So it depends on the director.
Because if you think about it, the Flash does really well on Netflix. So I don't know if they'd want to give that up or not.
There's been episodes of The Flash where it does have it feels like it's got a better feel, but I think it comes down to who's directing the episode and stuff like that.
I just thought about this. Any crossovers we do in the future, you're going to have multiple streaming services to like watch all of the episodes.
That's why they wanted to do the Superman and Lois Batwoman one, because they're both HBO Max shows.
Yeah.
So going now, especially if they fold the other shows in, it becomes much easier. But at the same time, but I don't know, maybe it wouldn't surprise me too much if that's why Warner Media is that there's that thing going around that Warner Media might buy the commanding the rest of the CW networks. They have the command over it. So there's no CBS element of it, which then can make them maybe able to make the crossover its own thing, maybe. And then I'm not too sure how it would work. But that would be very frustrating if like you had to watch 2 or 3 of the episodes on HBO Max and then 2 or 3 of the episodes on Netflix.
Yeah. Infotech says you already have that with Crisis. I mean, it is like, so oddly enough, I did a video and I was telling Paigey about this, like, I guess like a couple weeks ago. I did a video back during the break between Crisis, like the first half and the second half, on how to watch it. And there are people that are going back to that video, watching it and being confused on like, what does this video mean? Because now it's not the same. Like they're on streaming services. So people are looking for viewing order of the episodes. And that's the weird thing, is you literally have to go online.
Well, it makes you wonder why when they go on streaming, they don't do it like they do when they give you the Blu-rays. Because if you if you buy the seasons of the shows on like iTunes, or you get the Blu-ray or something like that, they have all the crossover episodes in them. So you don't have to go buy the Batwoman DVD just to watch one episode or something like that. They have all the episodes in there. They have the crossover itself within it. So it makes you wonder why the streaming services don't do that, why there's no deal made.
Or why when you click on it, it doesn't just pop up and say, watch these in order or something like that. Like they could do that. They could make it so it's packaged together like that as well. So, because if you think about it, if you went into Netflix, and this is similar to what you're saying, there could be like a box that just says Crisis on Infinite Earths, and you click on that and watch it without having to watch any of the other episodes at all. So who knows? When is Legends coming back? Did they release a date for that yet? I don't think they have.
No, they probably won't announce that for like another month or something.
Yeah, Legends and Supergirl should come back around the same time, I'm thinking, roughly-ish. So,
well, it depends. Supergirl has to wait for Charmed or Batwoman to finish, and I think they have the same amount of episodes, I think, those two shows.
All right, and here we go. One more. I guess my screen is too far behind. I keep thinking that we're caught up. Staggerforth, the front nine super chat. I think once the contracts for all the CW shows on Netflix are up, they'll all relocate to HBO Max. I wouldn't be surprised. It really depends, though, because it might be a similar situation like Daredevil and Luke Cage and all those shows on Netflix where because of the way the contracts work, they have to wait X amount of years before they can use that property.
It could be like season by season. The show's going on HBO Max.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I could imagine though, like a Flash show with the budget of like a Superman and Lois would look crazy good, crazy good. All right, so before we get into Pageys Pick, because that is our next topic, I want to give a shout out to all of my Team Eric members. If you don't see your name on this list, it is because you signed up after I did it, which is usually like the beginning of the week. So make sure you come back next week to see your name on the list. And here we go. We'll be back in just a moment. Become a Team Eric member and help support the channel? Well, it's actually quite simple. You head down below the video you're watching right now or any video on my channel, you click the join button and it pulls up a page where you can see all the perks available to you, custom badges, emojis, exclusive content, and early access. Then you click the join button. It's that simple and it does help support the channel. Become a Team Eric member today. Thank you. There we go.
Eric, I don't appreciate the ASMR just randomly showing up.
That was my what is it called? My tribute to Ben. Because if you go to Ben's stream, like you
like 80% of the stream is begging.
I need to tell Ben to make one for me. I'll just cut it out of his stream and use it over here. That's pretty funny. Anyway, all right. So you guys, spoiler alert, it is time for Pageys Pick. Spoiler alert. It is time for Pageys Pick. Is this going to get me demonetized? That is the question of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So I usually set aside 10 minutes, and you think it's going to take the full 10 minutes for you because you said this is the longest Pageys Pick that you've ever done. So
I can tell you there's 30 different things I have to say.
Oh, no. All right. So here we go. Pageys Pick. What is Pageys Pick for this week? What is it?
Just hydrating myself before we jump in. It is top songs that remind me of the after party.
Oh no, demonetized coming right up.
And these all come with descriptions as to why they remind me of the after party. So you don't have to, guess what they mean. It's you get it all laid out in front of you. Feel free to add these to a playlist and call them the after party playlist. Feel free to do that.
I got my computer screen over here ready to go. I'm going to start typing.
I can give you a spoiler though, because Tom's put it in the chat. There is no thong song.
Oh,
I try to be a bit more nuanced with this good old list. So the songs will not be played though. So that's why I said you can make your own playlist on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever you want to do. Okay, If you know, obviously it helps if you know a lot of these songs as well. It doesn't help that Ben dogged it and decided to. I don't know. I think he jumped in front of a car. I'm not too sure what he did, but it does help here because a couple of these are sort of like it's a mini roast. To be completely honest.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's some mini roasts in here.
All right.
Okay. First up, "Living on the Edge" by Aerosmith. I put just in brackets Eric.
Is it because of the edginess? Is that why? Is that what that is?
And also because we're living on the edge whenever we really start a stream because of demonetization and potential flagging and taking down of the stream. So pretty much whenever we go live, we are living on the edge.
Okay. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's appropriate.
Next one, "Flavor of the Week" by a band called American Hi-Fi. And that's just the stream in general because we are the flavor of the week. Obviously, Snyder Cut R-rated. We'll jump into that next. Pretty much just general edginess. Next one, "Love is a Battlefield" by Pat Benatar. I've just put in brackets.
It's self-explanatory, right?
I've just put in brackets Goldface.
There's if you're a Team Eric member, there is a gold-faced emoji. So if you have it, throw it up now. Throw it up on the screen. Not throw it up from your mouth. Throw it up on the screen to show respect to the face of gold. Next
up, we have "Left Outside Alone" by Anastasia, and this is in reference to Canada Grass getting dropped by Ben, or dropped for Ben, might I say. So Canada Grass is "Left Outside Alone." I've got "LOVE" by Ashley Simpson, and that's just because everyone just loves myself. That's Pageys. So LOVE. Like that song, Eric? Did you like the rendition? Did you like the cover?
I did, and I actually want you to do a cover version of that in your studio so we can hear it.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
And upload it exclusively to your OnlyFans. So,
maybe is that a sneak peek? I don't know. Maybe we have to wait and see. I'm not too sure. No spoilers here.
Yeah.
I've got "Everybody" in brackets "Backstreet's Back" by the Backstreet Boys, and that's just Wednesdays when we go live. We're back, and everybody is excited. I think that's a simple one. I don't think.
We need to pause your list quickly because you need to address this here from Tom. It's a $2.
Yeah, I think Tom's like 3 years late. Like I'm surprised. But on Twitter, I'm like, how late can you be? I've addressed that on like multiple streams. I mean, like I thought Tom had been a subscriber for more than a couple of years, but apparently not. So I was very surprised when I saw that.
Classic. UNE says Backstreet Boys classic.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. I was thinking, what's the other one? "Larger Than Life." I was thinking "Larger Than Life," and that's just because it's in Napoleon Dynamite. But but I thought it's a bit too fresh. It doesn't feel like it's really like in the heart of the after party. Maybe in the heart of the after party 3.0. Was it end of 2.0?
Might have been.
Anyway, let's not focus too much on that because it's in the past. Next up, we've got "Catch My Disease" by Ben Lee, and that's just because of the after parties during COVID. Luckily, none of us caught said disease. Well, I know Ben might have. Maybe that's why he's not here. I'm not too sure. But
he didn't show up.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a COVID shout out. Next up, "Bad Guy" by Billie Eilish, and that's just Eric's thoughts of me when I start talking about serial killers. And my thoughts on Eric when he starts to nitpick for the sake of nitpicking. I'm like, bad guy.
Well, that happens all the time. So
yeah, so it relates to both of us. And just Ben when he pretty much Ben on his streams when he, as I said, it just goes on for 80% of it begging.
# bring back the chalk.
There we go. Why is there naked Hulk on that picture?
You have to ask them that question, not me.
At least I'm not the one getting demonetized in this show. Next up, we have "Bored to Death" by Blink-182, and this is just us whenever we have to talk about Supergirl. I think that if you go back to our after parties, we have to talk about Supergirl. It's very relative. I dare someone to go back and I'm asleep. Go back. I think Eric should have flashbacks to this. Whenever we talk about Supergirl, I drift off. If he asks me a question, I have to ask him to repeat it.
I literally have to I think every question that I ever ask you during like Supergirl times or whatever, you're just like, what is that again?
Yeah, just repeat the last 20 minutes because I haven't been paying. I've just drifted off.
Oh, wow. Look, here we go. This is edgy. You see this one? Wow.
Yeah, you can lead, JK. It's all good. It's all good. You don't have to pay, so I haven't seen your super chat yet. So, adios, amigo. Next up, another Blink One, and we're only like 8 songs into this, so strap yourselves in and feel the cheese because here we go. Next up, we have another Blink 182 song. This is "What's My Age Again?" That's just when I start laughing at my own jokes, and everyone quizzes actually if I'm 12 years old or not. Shout out to UNE and Fresh Florida, whatever it is.
By the way, I did dance at the end of my stream last week. I don't know why people are saying that I didn't.
We didn't dance very well. if we're being completely honest, you weren't dancing very well.
But I did dance. So go ahead.
Next up, we have Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Kilo by the Bloodhound Gang. And this is just us trying to swear without swearing to avoid demonetization. But then Gary will ask how long Barry Allen's penis is or something like that. So we start swearing anyway because the ship has sailed by that point. So I think that's probably the most relevant one, especially for this stream as well, because Gary came out and previous streams as well. So I think that's a this will actually be
a fun game. Drink every time when Pageys says, what was the question again?
Oh, you'd be dead by the end, especially when Supergirl's back. God, take out some health insurance or something, or life insurance, because you might be gone. Next up, B Boys and Fly Girls by the Bumfunk MCs. This is just chocking. Enough said. I think it's a very good chocking song.
Maybe I should upload that as a chocking video on my Twitter or my Instagram or maybe even my TikTok. Maybe I should put chocking videos on my TikTok because I don't really use it for anything else.
B Boys, Fly Girls.
There we go. Blah, 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 DMCA, blah, blah,
blah. I got Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears. And we all know this. We all know this relates to me. There's no point going into why.
We get it.
But yeah, so Oops, I Did It Again. And that's mainly Eric getting angry at me and me saying that. So yeah.
And then you laughing hysterically while I get angry. That's the way it works.
And we forget it ever happened.
Yep. Then we move on.
Next up, American Pie by Don McLean. This is just in reference to Ben because his videos just keep going on and on and on and on and on. Ben, if you were here, this would be easier, but you can now put multiple ads on your videos at 8 minutes. You don't have to put them over 10 and put a 90-second outro. So
I will not be doing this challenge, Omega, by the way. The silhouette challenge.
No. Oh, I've seen that on TikTok.
Apparently, people don't realize that you can take those videos and take the filter off of them. Yeah.
Hashtag accidental nude reveal. Anyway. Next up, Stacey's Mum by Fountains of Wayne. And this is just in here because I'm assuming that at least one person who has ever watched the after party every now and then has a hot mum. So
let me tell you right now, this is so funny that you bring that up. I literally have someone, and I don't know who it is, that sends in, because they send in digital requests now because the way I can't take normal requests. So I get like a digital request on my phone. And it's for Stacey's Mom. I play that song like every single week when I'm working like a dinner show or something. It gets everybody like excited. They're at their table shaking around. Like it's a great song. So
Stacey's Mom. Finish it, Eric. Oh, he's what a downer. Oh, talk about ruining it. Oh.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much, Flash Freak. He's from your channel, Flash Freak 508.
We call that a migrant, I think.
Yeah, Fresh Sounds. Don't encourage me. I do stupid stuff all the time. Don't ask me to do it. I do it all the time.
I think we're like halfway through.
Come on, speed up the process. Come on. I'll stop antagonizing you. Go ahead.
Okay. Next up, I Think I'm Paranoid by Garbage. And this is just Eric whenever I start speaking. Off
Proper
topic.
Song. Go ahead.
And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So, we have Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous by Good Charlotte. And this is Eric and his weekly flexing. He's doing it right now. Like he's got the ring, he's got the 2 armbands, the new headphones, the new hat.
The lava lamp.
Yeah, and just the flat, all those pictures. He's got another lamp on to his left because it's lighting up those pictures behind him. I can't believe it. It's incredible.
I love to flex my lighting stuff. Like I just love to flex. Every light that I have is turned on. That's the way it works.
Flexing on his electricity bill as well. Like,
that's not a flex, actually. That is sad times. Sad times.
When that comes in the mail. Jesus. Anyway, weekly flexing. Next up, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. And that's just because Ben is our child.
I wish he was here because that joke would have been awesome.
I don't think it would have been awesome anyway. It's not a joke either. So I'm just sort of offended that you're just tearing that down. Next up we have Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani. And that's just
I love that song.
It's in here just because it's a good song. Let's be honest. It sort of reflects the vibe of the streams. But also we do get a bit bananas in the streams, or BANANAS. Who's the more banana of us two?
Chat will have to determine. Let the chat determine that.
Banana off. That'll be interesting.
Chat, who's more bananas? Myself or Paigey? Let us know in the chat.
This shit is bananas. Anyway. Introverted Unicorns calling it a terrible song. I'm not too sure about that. Not too sure about that. Holla Back Girl. Anyway, next up, Little L by Jamiroquai. That's just Eric when he takes L's, except usually they're big. Maybe this should be in reference to me, because if I take an L, it's usually little. It's never usually like a big L like Eric takes or some other channels and stuff. So maybe I'm going to say that's actually about me. Is there a song called Big L?
I don't know.
Is there a song called Failure? Maybe maybe I will put that into you, Eric.
Maybe that'll be, you'll add as an addendum later on or something.
Yeah, that can be in the if you want to go to the OnlyFans, you'll see the updated edited list with the corrections. Next up, we got Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney, and this is just about me. Nothing else. So we'll just leave it there. There's no real point. Obviously, we can spend half an hour really deciphering what that song means about myself, but I think it speaks for itself. So I think we just leave it there.
All right. Speed it up. Come on.
Next up, we got California Girls by Katy Perry featuring Snoop Dogg.
I like that song.
And honestly, this is just a good music video for us to recreate at some point, I think. Shotgun, Snoop Dogg's role. I think Eric is Katy Perry and Ben can be those cans of whipped cream. So maybe Ben is not the physical can of whipped cream, but we can like CGI or Photoshop his face and body into the cans of whipped cream. You're Katy Perry. You will have to wear a blue wig. And I'll just be Snoop Dogg.
Okay. We can do that.
I think that works. So we might have to start like a GoFundMe to get that that music video made, because I don't think it would be cheap. But who knows?
Is that it? Was that the end of the list?
No, we've still got more. This is an obvious one. Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison.
I love that one. My favorite song.
Put in brackets, obvious reasons. Shout out to the club when Eric played that.
I've done several videos of me playing that song. I might do it tonight too.
Ooh.
Check out my Twitter. I might chalk while Return of the Mac is on.
Can you go shout out to the after party and then play Return of the Mac?
Yeah, I'll do it tonight.
Oh, there you go.
Follow me on Twitter at DJ Eric and wait for it tonight. I will do a shout out to the after party. Return of the Mac will come on and I will chalk in my DJ booth.
If that's not an incentive to follow Eric on Twitter, I don't know what will. Maybe the cosplay, but yeah.
No cosplay.
Imagine you shouting out the after party in the club in the cosplay and playing Return of the Mac.
No, I can't imagine that.
Oh, how funny. Next up, we got Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. And I think this is just the story of the after party will be chronicled in very similar ways to this song and its music video.
Look up the lyrics to that, and so people get.
And also the music video, and just imagine that, but as the after party.
Oh, okay.
I think that works. Maybe in theory it works, and in practice it's terrible. And maybe we revert back to California Girls, but I think Welcome to the Black Parade is probably the best representation of that. Thanks for snapping my ears off, Eric.
I know.
Next up, we have Bye 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 by NSYNC. And this is just Eric, to me, pretty much every week after the after party finishes, as he is very angry with my recent behavior.
Bye, bye, bye. Is that the dance? Like that? Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah, they stomp. Oh, they like.
Oh, okay. I can't do all that. So.
But you can get up. No, you start it, you got to finish it.
Not yet. Later on. Do it later.
Oh, later on.
So if enough people like and retweet my Mark Morrison tweet tonight, I will do that again.
Or will we get a bye dance routine?
I will literally do that at the club while I'm working if I get enough retweets and comments on it. I will do it. And I'll play it. I will play that song at the club. So
I can't wait. Next up, Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring, and it's just Eric.
Okay.
That's all I put, Eric.
All right.
There's a couple of these where I've just put in brackets Eric, because that's all that needs to be said.
There we go. Is that it? Was that the last one?
I still got 4 more.
All right, come on. Let's roll through them. We got 30 minutes.
Okay. We got Magic by Pilot.
Okay.
Most famously used in Happy Gilmore at the end. And this is just the amazing chemistry and feel of the after party. It's magic. It's magic in a bubble. Is that even a term? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that works. Next up, we have Hot for Teacher by Van Halen, but we're sort of mixing
great song. So inappropriate for 2021, but cool song.
Except for like Hot for Teacher, it's pretty much just simping on characters. I think that's very relevant, not for just the host of the stream, but also the chat, and if anything, more relevant to the chat half the time. Some of the comments I see are interesting to say the least. Well, it's not RP Eddie Van Halen died.
Yeah.
I guess he was Van Halen. Anyway, whatever. Next up, second last one, we have Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry, and this is just the audience waiting for the intro song to start playing.
Well, that's
saying Play That Funky Music, white boy. I don't know, is it a racial slur to call Eric a white boy? Not too sure, but they're waiting for you to play that funky music.
Okay, well, there we go.
And then finally, a song by Post Malone relating to Eric, Money Made Me Do It.
There we go. There we go. I knew something like that. I was hoping it was going to be like circles or something like that, but no, Money Made Me Do It. Okay. It is what it is, I guess. All right.
I think we went 15. I think we're at 15 minutes.
Yes. All right. So we're going to jump into this super chat. There was one earlier that I think I saw one like while we were doing Pageys Pick from Gamerman X9000. Unfortunately, I can't pull it up because of StreamYard. But he says, you didn't seem very happy, but I don't want these to end, but I want HBO Max to give these shows an increase in budget and to be more cinematic. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't have a problem with any of that. I think that's absolutely fine. But I think there's a reality and then there's like a fantasy element to what people expect. Is there a possibility the shows could get more money and be more cinematic and, contracts to change? Yes, but we've already established now that DC is very committed to the idea of a multiverse. So they don't need another separate universe to make the shows work. You could have crossovers now without all of that happening. So I feel like creating a scenario where we're blocking off more shows and we're doing this weird bubble thing or whatever, I don't think that's the move for DC right now. I don't think that's what they're about at the moment. That's just my opinion. Do you have any thoughts about that at all? Like in terms of like the increased budget and stuff? I don't think they have to do a universe to connect the shows.
Was he saying that he wants like the Flash to move to HBO Max or something?
Well, basically that the super chat was that he doesn't want the shows to end. He wants to see them with a bigger budget. And
they won't. So the whole point that won't happen.
Right. That's what I was saying though, is that there's a reality and then there's like a fantasy and then there's reality. And so I think there's a fantasy element to that we can't.
I'd love $1 million to just appear in my bank account. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a reality where it could, but it's a distant and just not going to happen in reality. But
Thomas here says Campia said Supergirl was canceled. Is that recent or was that like back?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's John Campia, so I don't know.
What reason would they have to lie? I mean, they literally said that they just wanted to end it, so it just doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't canceled. It's obvious the network would have wanted to keep it going.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand the intent to make it seem like something is being canceled.
If it was the Flash, he wouldn't have said it was canceled. He would have said it's ending.
Right.
Because it's Supergirl and it's got like some sort of negative connotation around it, it's easy to spin the word cancelled and then add more negativity to it.
Right.
Anyone with half a brain knows it wasn't cancelled. It's ending.
So a lot of people argue, and this is Ethan right here. He thinks ending and canceled is the same thing. And you've talked about this before.
Did Game of Thrones get cancelled?
Right. Exactly.
Did Breaking Bad get cancelled?
Did Smallville get canceled? Did Supernatural get canceled? Did
Sopranos get cancelled?
Right. So I saw Thomas. This isn't me like having a go at you. It's just in general. So if to break it down in the simplest of ways, if a show gets canceled, that means that the distribution network decides that even though everyone involved with the show still wants to move forward with the show, that the show is not profitable for them and they're getting rid of it. Any other scenario outside of that is not a cancellation. So if the showrunners and the creative team, either the main actress wants to leave, the main actor wants to leave, the creators don't want to move forward with it. I mean, a really good example is like the Watchmen show, right? The Watchmen was a 1-season series. The showrunner and creator of the show says he didn't want to do any more seasons of it. So they haven't really been able to determine if they're going to do another season or they're going to get a second season. But that doesn't mean it's canceled. It's the ending of a series. So saying canceled, and let's be very clear here, if you see the word canceled, you automatically think negatively. Like, oh, it was canceled. That means something is wrong with it. That's why that word is used. It has absolutely no other reason to be used other than that. So just like Paige was saying, if it's a show that everybody loves, you're not going to see canceled unless it's actually canceled. And even then they may go, well, it's ending. It's ending. They may not even say canceled. It's a really weird situation where that's like media manipulation of stuff. Like it's a manipulation of the viewers. It's a manipulation of the clicks. Yeah, so that's a good point right here. Logan says Swamp Thing was canceled. That's a big difference. The production was still running when they were told, hey, that's it, you're done. Canceled. So I don't know why these people, especially like people at the level of Campia, they know better, and that's what makes me so angry. I don't care about a million other channels doing clickbait
because
stuff.
The thing is, if he makes a video saying Supergirl ends after, what is it going to be, 6 seasons or something, is it 6 seasons? Yeah, 6 seasons. And that's what he says ending, it'll get, I'm not saying there's so many views it would get, but just a ratio wise, just say it gets 7,000 views. But if he goes Supergirl cancelled due to ratings or just Supergirl cancelled or whatever it is, what's the future of the Arrowverse? He gets like 20,000, 25,000 views because it has that negative connotation. Negativity sells.
Right.
And that's why people will like swamp themselves in negativity because, well, at least they got to, get some digits in the bank account at the end of the month.
There's a lot of people that also are still under the assumption that Black Lightning was canceled and that it wasn't like, the network didn't wrap it up or whatever because some of the comments made by the actors or whatever.
If Black Lightning was canceled, they wouldn't even be thinking the idea of Painkiller.
Exactly. Why would you want to spin off from a show that wasn't profitable for you or wasn't working for you? Doesn't make any sense. But nobody thinks about that because it doesn't make good clicks. Yeah. So,
why would you spend money setting up a show of a franchise that apparently was just dead? If
your main character Black Lightning wasn't working for you, why would you do a spinoff of a character who is arguably like lesser known? Doesn't make any sense. Multi-topic talk with the $2 super chat. Did you guys watch the Legion TV show, the Marvel one? I watched like 2 episodes of it. It wasn't really my thing. I know it's supposedly really good and a lot of people like it. I might go back and watch it at some other time, but I just it never clicked for me. I didn't like the way it was designed, like the setup of the show. That's just me. That's one of the few comic book properties that I just couldn't get into. Sort of like the Pennyworth show, which I haven't watched any of. So anyway, any thoughts on that? Did you watch Legion at all?
I watched the first. I think I finished season 1 because I remember watching it live when it was on. But I didn't touch season 2, and I don't know if there was a season 3, but I'm pretty sure I finished season 1.
So Ethan, right here, perfect point. John said the Supernatural was ending, yet he said Supergirl got canceled. That doesn't surprise me really. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is. All right, let's move into our next topic, which is the Snyder Cut getting an R rating for violence and language. And it says here in the highlighted text, the Justice League Snyder Cut has officially been given an R rating for violence and language. The long-awaited film sees Justice League director Zack Snyder return to finish off his vision after he had to leave the project before it was complete. Which, by the way, did you see that? I think Zack confirmed that he left the project, because a lot of people had speculated that he was like fired, but I think he confirmed that he left, that he walked away because of what was going on, right?
Well, no, yeah, I didn't have any doubts that he left, but the thing is, he was pretty much being like what would you call it? like babysat, like they were babysitting him,
Right.
Because I think because the biggest issue, and I think I might have mentioned this before, is Justice League has probably started filming in 2016 at the worst possible time. It started filming like a couple of weeks after Batman vs Superman came out, which was critically panned. People didn't like. There was massive. It was very divisive audience wise. It didn't make what the studio wanted money wise. Like, it didn't even reach their minimum what they wanted.
Right.
And it starts filming just after that, and it's using the same director, but more importantly, the same screenwriter. And you're carrying on elements from that, and it was just a mess. Like, I would have been very interested just to see what it would have been like if they started filming like 3 to 6 months later, because you could argue that probably Zack Snyder doesn't film Justice League if that's the case.
Yeah,
and they definitely get a new script.
I want to address this comment. I didn't judge Pennyworth. Where did I judge the show? I just said it's not the kind of TV that I would normally watch. I know what the premise of it is. Just a weird comment.
Too, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, just the entire setup for the show isn't really my take. I never said Pennyworth was bad or anything like that. Where'd you get that from? Never said that. Okay, so rated R, not totally surprised. They have no intention of trying to market this to the PG-13 crowd. So that's fine.
I think it's
I see your name is rated R for the sake of it. I'm assuming that you're following the same logic that a lot of people are, that like, what's the point, really, right?
Yeah, like, it's a Justice League movie. Like, why is it locked off from the core crowd of superhero films?
Yeah, I was a little bit confused because so let's take a look at a show that is a hard R and does kind of what I think Zack wanted to do with less satire, which is like The Boys. So The Boys is like a satirical look at what superheroes would be if they were all like real people in a real world without any real, restrictions or whatever. That show does enough that I think it deserves to be R-rated because that content is mature. It's a mature show. I don't really understand why a Justice League movie has to be R-rated. I'm not really sure.
Like, the difference is with The Boys is R-rated because if anything, they tone down on what the comics do.
Yeah.
So they're just translating the media, but this just feels like, like my name says, it's R-rated for the sake of it. It's like, well, I made an R-rated Justice League movie. It's like, well, why are we locking out the core crowd?
Do you think this is the vision and do you think this probably has something to do with the conflict between what Zack's vision of the Justice League was versus what Warner wanted to do with it? Because I feel like you're right. This does cut off a core part of the audience. And I didn't really think about it that way, but it does make sense now that you're saying it. I mean, do we really, is an R-rated Justice League something that the world needed? Like, do you think this was important enough to have to go this direction? Or do you think it's just like, I'm going to push the envelope because now it doesn't matter? You know what I mean?
I'd assume that's probably the case.
Okay.
I'd assume that's probably the case. And I think it sort of says that this won't be released in cinemas either.
Right. Well, I mean, if you had any question about it being released in cinemas as well as streaming, I think an R rating is a hard sell for cinemas for this, especially with it being as long as it is and an R rating. It's not profitable enough to get people in the theaters, because right now theaters want to get as many people in as possible. And I don't know if an R-rated superhero movie with characters like Superman and Batman, I don't know. I mean, or do we think that the like the Matt Reeves Batman movie that hasn't received a rating yet, right? Do you think that's going to be R-rated?
I know the Nolan movies weren't rated R, so why do you have to make the Pattinson one R rated as well?
Cody here says Justice League has no R-rated characters. The Boys comics are more NC-17. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the Boys tone it down, as I said before. Like, they tone down scenes from the comics because they're too much.
Yeah. Is it also weird that it's getting a movie rating on a TV release? Because this isn't a film that's coming out in theaters, and typically movies that come out on streaming services that are just for the streaming services aren't judged for movies unless they plan on putting them out for like nominations and things like that. Because do you think that they're trying to get a nomination for this? Because
no, I think they're planning physical release, and I think you have to have a rating for physical.
That's what I was getting to. So like a Blu-ray then, basically.
A Blu-ray, yeah.
Or digital release, like a download from like
digital as well. Yeah.
So it's a little interesting. Let's take a look at a picture that was released, and this also is a little bit. We're running out of time here. I want to get through this. We got a picture. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Where's it at? It's the Twitter one of the Joker, of Jared Leto's Joker, and it's a weird like what's the point of? I thought it was a little weird they've released character pictures of everybody else. This one, it looks almost artificially blurred. Like they went in with like an app and just smudged their finger over it or whatever. What do you think of what you're seeing? I mean, it's not a lot to go on. Any general thoughts?
I thought I needed my eyes checked once it came out. I don't understand what the point of it was.
This is confirmed to be Jared Leto, right? That's who it is.
Yeah, it's Jared Leto. It's not Joaquin Phoenix.
Right, because I had to do a double take on it when I saw the tweet. I'm like, is this Leto? Because it looks like Joker from the Joker film. It's really strange to me. I don't know where they're going to go with this character or what the point of the new look is, but I guess we'll find out when we get there. Not a lot to go on, though. Very odd reveal there. Naruto with a $2 super chat. Only comic book show I never got into is Lucifer. I actually just started watching Lucifer like regularly about a year ago. But I've heard it's really good. So I'm excited for getting through the episodes. And if you're a Team Eric member, you can go back and watch my reactions to some of the episodes and my rant reviews as well. So much copyrighted music in that. So much copyrighted music. All right. So this is going to be the I guess 10-ish minute warning. We are going to talk a little bit because we kind of ran out of time about Batwoman episode 3, which is Batgirl Magic. If you guys have any questions, we're going to jump through this very quickly. We both have our reviews out. My Batwoman review is available. Pageys is as well. So if you want to hear our detailed thoughts, you can head over and check those out. So I will say this episode for me wasn't a bad episode, but I think that there were some issues with it that didn't necessarily tie into like the baggage that they had before. With the storylines left over from last season. But I loved Victor. I think he's a great character. So I guess I want to ask your opinion. What did you think of Victor in the episode?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I did think it was a bit weird how they joked about the fact that he was like self-harming himself. I thought it was a bit odd. But it was like a different take than like the Gotham version.
Right. That's what I said in my review as well.
So I'd rather there be like some sort of different take rather than just trying to be the same old or trying to copy or something like that.
And I think he's going to come back. I think we'll see him again.
Yeah, I think they said it's a recurring role. I think when they were casting, so it's not like he got his head chopped off either.
I mean, to be fair, he's kind of a perfect street level, above average villain for a first year Batwoman, I think. So I like that about it. Because you have to remember, this is year 1 Batwoman for Ryan. So she's going to make mistakes. There's going to be issues for her. Because we did year 1 with Kate, and now we're doing another year 1. So it's kind of interesting that we're going to go that direction. With the character, so far, like you think they would have been better off with like a time jump, like she gets the suit and then like 4 months later she's Batwoman. I don't know, maybe. So I feel like it's sort of a rehash there. Speaking of rehashes, I got it's kind of a weird split in my comment section about this. I still feel like the Sapphire storyline is very, very, very similar to Lian Yu and Ra's al Ghul, and I know that it's not exactly the same. But I feel like it's very, very close. And I guess my biggest criticism is with a brand new Batwoman, we could have done literally any story that we wanted to do. You could have made up a story if you wanted, because I know this is from the comics, or at least it takes elements from the comic book story. How do you feel about this? Are you getting that vibe at all? Because I know last week I brought it up. This week we got a bit more on it. I still feel like there's a vibe there that it is going to be very similar to the Lian Yu stuff.
Not really. I think
so. You're not feeling it at all?
I'm still in the same thing where I think you're just trying to make it seem similar.
So the mysterious island with a leader who has minions and trains people to be assassins, with a rose that can cure people, like a pit of water that can bring people back to life.
Yeah,
none of that resonates with you.
Yeah, but the rose doesn't have any consequences. It's a heal all.
But no, but it's still a MacGuffin, and I mean that's kind of what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with an item that does some magical thing from an island. I mean, it's like the storyline is just, for me, it's not a direct copy, but it is like a Xerox of something, like a imperfect copy of something else. And so I kind of just wanted.
But also, it's important to remember, like, it's not like it's the Arrow spin-off or anything like that. It's a different show.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like, how many people that watched Arrow are watching Batwoman?
Yeah, but I think it's like copying somebody else's homework. I mean, I don't think in any other show we would give a pass to them copying a storyline from another series, or at least doing something very similar. We've talked about this before. People say, well, Arrow was a copy of Batman. Yeah, okay, fine. But I don't think anybody ever gave Arrow a pass for being a copy of Batman. We just kind of accepted that it was their take on Batman, and that's fine. But I think here we have a situation where it's like Arrow seasons 1 and 2-ish vibe for me. And with a new Batwoman, more of a modern, like, street level take on the character without all the supernatural elements in it. I really just wanted them to focus on that. And I feel like this is mysticism and this is something else. And I guess I just didn't want that on Batwoman. Maybe that's me. I don't know. Victor Zsasz make himself bleeding. Always.
Living on the edge. Here we go.
Yeah. Victor Zsasz make himself bleeding on a crime scene after wearing gloves was weird. Any thoughts? Or Mary running away from that? I don't know about thoughts about her running away from him. I mean, that's what you would do, right? Mary's not really a fighter. So she's a runner. Yeah. As far as Victor Zsasz doing crazy stuff, that's kind of his character. So I don't have too many thoughts on it. I think that's in line with what I would expect from him. The only thing I didn't like with him was the pulling out the air to surface missile launcher thing and putting it on his shoulder. That was too cartoon for me.
Air to surface missile.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Who says that? It was a RPG.
He said air. He did say air to or surface to
he's
air.
Wrong. Say
no. He might be wrong, but that's what he said when he pulled it out.
This is where your Call of Duty playing skills comes in. It's a rocket propelled grenade,
right?
An RPG. And
but I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm saying that that's what he said on the show. Like,
because if that was a missile launcher, it would have had to explode on impact.
Right, which is what he said. But that's not what it did. It did something else. It was
a rocket propelled grenade. As soon as it was shot, it had a timer and exploded in midair.
We're literally on the same page with that. I'm saying,
well, Eric, this is where you got to have your deciphering abilities and actually point out that they got it wrong. You just went along with it, and I can't cop that. It was a rocket-propelled grenade.
And he said it was a shoulder-mounted, something like that. It was weird. Laura here with the $2 super chat. Did Ryan redo the cowl? This is the whole suit. They didn't show a lot of it in the episode, but it's the whole suit.
Yeah, didn't really make too much sense, but I didn't like how they did it. I really hated how they did a dark alley scene as the suit reveal. I was like, why?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, like, if you didn't see those promo photos or you're not watching our videos or anybody's videos that are talking about it, you would have probably never even realized that there was a change to this.
Just thought the wig. Just thought, it was a wig.
Yeah.
Wig change.
There's a lot of issues chronologically with how quickly that suit was adapted for her and when she went out in the field. It's a superhero show. I give them a pass on a lot of stuff, but the problem is that just didn't make any sense to me. That was a big one. So see you later, Cyber. I saw you in the chat, but I have to give you a call back. He called me as I was getting started for the stream. So introverted unicorn. Technically, the suit isn't hers yet. She's under the impression she's borrowing the suit, but tweaked it. So yeah, I didn't think about that. So she took the suit while they told her you are like the temporary Batwoman, and just redid the whole thing. because she didn't know that Luke had sort of accepted that she's going to be the new Batwoman. She was still under the impression that she was a temporary Batwoman. I didn't think about that. That's a really good point, though. Yeah, Geek says they only acknowledge the wig being different. Yeah. Captain J with the $2 super chat. Did the Flash help with the suit? The wig should be red. A lot of people complaining about the color of the wig. I wouldn't mind more color in it, but I actually think the wig is okay. It's one of the things I'm willing to just kind of overlook, which is you guys should be happy for me because it takes a lot for me to overlook stuff. Did the Flash help with the suit? Yeah, don't know. Yeah, it's a weird chronological thing. Overall, though, I think that this episode felt a bit more it felt more like an episode about Ryan Wilder and the new journey of Batwoman instead of like continuing stories from the first two episodes. Because I feel like the first two episodes were still dealing with a lot of baggage from the end of last season. So I think this was the first one that felt kind of unique to me. So there's that. All right, let's briefly, very, very briefly talk about the Flash trailer. We both also have videos about this, so if you want to hear our entire thoughts on it, go over and check those out. But I will say I wasn't expecting the trailer. I had a video that had just came out with my Batwoman review, and then my WandaVision review was going up like later, and then this trailer dropped, and I'm like, what? So general thoughts on the trailer before they go watch our video. If you want to hear our whole thoughts, go over there. Hype, not hype. Was this what you were expecting, not expecting the Flash trailer?
Pretty much what I was expecting. But for more thoughts, you can head over to youtube.com/Pageys to see the full trailer breakdown.
Yes, that's right. Go over there and check them out. I will say that it was, I wanted to see a little bit more of like Barry doing stuff, but I guess they wanted to give a good balance of everything that was happening. So we'll see what happens. He's got 1% of his speed left, everybody. Go watch the videos. Go watch our trailer breakdowns. 1% of his speed. They haven't used numbers in forever. So I was very shocked that they actually threw out something about that, which I think is kind of fun. But yeah, still awesome. Very good. And there we go. That's our quick thoughts on it. And if you want to hear more, go over and check out our trailers. Vasily, will you talk about Snyder's opinion on his fan base? I saw a tweet about this. I need to find the actual statement. Where is it at? Oh no. Okay. So he says, in what world, actually, let me put this up on screen because I want to get through this. In what world does this toxic fandom raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for suicide prevention? How is that toxic fandom? They probably achieved more than any other fan base. And that's what he said. And my thoughts on this is I'm not going to say that there are parts of the following for the Snyder Cut and everything, that group, that haven't done good things. I never said that. I've never been one that's subscribed to the idea that they haven't done good things. The problem is in any large group that you have, it doesn't matter if it's Star Wars, it doesn't matter if it's Star Trek, it doesn't matter if it's Dungeons and Dragons. In any large group that you have, you're going to have members of that community that exude behavior that doesn't reflect the entire community, but is polarizing and gets a lot of attention. Zack Snyder is very connected to his community. He sees everything that's going on. So I don't think for a second that he doesn't know what people are talking about when they say something about toxic people in the community. I am more shocked that he didn't just denounce the toxic behavior and acknowledge it, but then go on to talk good about the people that have done good things, because pretending that it doesn't exist only increases the chances that it will go on, because they think that by him not mentioning it, that he doesn't see it as toxic and therefore they can continue to do it. So that's my thoughts on it. You guys can have your own opinions about it. That's it. I don't think everybody involved with this fan base are toxic people. Clearly there's people that are doing good over there, but if you ignore it, then you do nothing but nurture it and allow it to grow. We've seen it many, many, many times. So the fact that he has not, basically denounced it, to me means that he's acknowledged that it's okay with him. And I think that's wrong. Any thoughts on that, Paigey?
Well, I think at the bottom line, it was just a bit irresponsible of him not to denounce the people that are doing it. And no one denies the fact that raising the money was great. Like no one
Well,
says, "Oh,
I want to
that
point
money."
this out, though. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to point this out because somebody in the comments brought it up. Raising money for that kind of prevention, but then people telling other people to basically die and kill
Well,
themselves or
yeah,
whatever.
that's what I was going to
Like,
say. Like that's all in good. Like keep doing it, and I hope that it keeps happening after the film comes out and it doesn't drop off. I don't know if it will or not. That's for us to wait and find out. And I hope it does because that's great. It's a cause that needs to be get behind. It's only over the past couple of years that's becoming a more prevalent thing that people are talking about that type of stuff, which is very important and affects more people than you would know.
Yeah.
Whether it is just depression or attempted suicide or just suicide in itself, it affects a lot of people. And I think it's incredibly irresponsible of Snyder to sit there and say and like defend it.
Right.
It's incredibly because
it's like doing a PSA for drug prevention, but then selling them on the corner. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it was just a. If I had to label it to something, I think it was when he was asked the question, it was a lack of critical thinking. He didn't think what he was about to say, and then it was quoted, and it never really went back to it. And I think if he could probably have his time back, he would remove that quote because it seems a bit not well thought through. Because anyone who, and I think Snyder to me has always come across, well, Zack Snyder has always come across to me as a nice guy, a guy that would do stuff for people and just wouldn't brush people off and stuff like that. So to see him denounce this, and I'm not saying he's encouraging it, but to not call it out is allowing it to continue to happen. And the Snyder Cut people, for the most part, like a large chunk of them are fine. They just want they're just a fan of Snyder, they're a fan of their vision, and they want to see the movie that they thought they were promised and weren't given, which is fine. But there's a large chunk, I think, and this is me completely shitting on them because as I said, the majority of them are fine.
Yeah.
But I think ratio-wise or percentage-wise compared to other fandoms, I think the Snyder Cut fandom, unfortunately, has a larger grouping than other fandoms that are in that toxic mentality and that target people and they go after them and they force people to go off Twitter, or, as you were saying, they completely go against what they're trying to do and they're telling people to go kill themselves or saying stuff that would go and make some, like, because people are fragile. Life is fragile in itself.
Yeah.
All it takes is someone to be in half an hour of really deep, dark thoughts to do something that,
especially when it's a mob mentality, when you get ganged up on by multiple
and
people.
all of a sudden, like, I don't know if this happened, but all of a sudden, like, it happened, we've seen that before, people get doxxed and everything, and all of a sudden you got, even at something as little as just pizzas coming to your door, it's still like that insecurity. You feel extremely vulnerable and you don't know who you're dealing with.
Yeah. Someone said to ignore the toxicity on a smaller scale. Like if you're a person that is being targeted, yes, that's fine. You can ignore it. You can move on. But when you are at the top of the pyramid and you're the person that people are doing things in the name of, you have to be the one to denounce it.
Yeah,
you have to. They can't just ignore it. It doesn't work that way.
As I said, that quote is incredibly irresponsible, and I don't know. It makes me look at him in a different light.
Yeah.
If that's exactly how he feels, then it makes me look at Zack Snyder in a different light, because I always thought he was like a nice guy that sort of kept to himself, but was everyone that was in his life, he would 100% cared about, and that's why his fans were so connected to him, and he was connected to them. But I just think this is, I know it's a bit of like it's an ugly thing to see.
Yeah,
because it's such the whole thing just screams hypocrisy.
Yeah. We would have covered that during the Justice League chat, but I was looking at the clock. So thank you for asking and bringing that up. I just hope that moving forward.
And just the last thing, like I've seen people say it as well. Like I don't think a lot of the Snyder Cut people are using the money they raised as a wall, but I think some of the toxic people use the money that was raised as a wall to defend apparently their actions of defending Snyder or his films and stuff through abuse or something like that. But like, I think using like charitable donations as a wall as an excuse to do something is really,
it's sort of like when you see these people do awful things and then they mention like they have some person in their life that has a disease or something like that. Like they throw them out there to create a force field around them. So you can't criticize them. You can't say anything about them. And I don't think that's fair, because it doesn't make you above reproach because you've done something good. It just doesn't. Yeah. So, all right. So I want to answer this quickly. Gwendolyn, do you think Eric Wallace will show run another season? I think it's highly likely that he will. Everybody seems to be really happy with his work. So I suspect that will happen. Paige, any thoughts on that quickly?
Well, last season was his first one, so I'd say he'd see out the show. I'd be very surprised if they changed showrunners towards the end.
All right, clutch super chat because we have to wrap this up. Gamerman 9000. This might be controversial, but do you think Legends could not wrap up Green and the Canaries, but decanonize, erase, and retcon the Green Canaries? Even if they do that, it won't erase it from the season. So I don't care if they do it or not. Like if you go back and you watch season 8 of Arrow, you're always going to have those things ingrained in the season. So even if Legends were to go back and quote unquote retcon it, it wouldn't change that, you know. He goes on, it's easy that Legends stop the guy who sit down at the yeah, I get what you're saying. If they want to do that, that's fine, but I don't think it fixes the problems that season 8 is stuck with, which is episodes dedicated to the backdoor pilot. So there we go. All right, it's time for dad jokes, and you guys in the chat, let us know if these are dad jokes, sad jokes, bad jokes, all of the above. And then put our name next to it so we know which one you're talking about. Why did Batman take a break from fighting crime?
To take a batcation.
No, that's a cute one. That's not it. It's because it was becoming the bane of his existence.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Is that a dad joke? I know the chat. Come on. You're on my side, right? Dad joke, right? Dad joke, bad joke, sad joke.
I'm thinking sad joke. I'm thinking sad joke.
Oh, okay. Well, it's your go now. So give yours.
A storm blew away 25% of my roof last night.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Jeez. All right. What does Batman like to put in his drinks?
Bat milk.
Just ice. Just ice.
Oh,
you
Jesus.
You get it? Do you get the...
Oh.
You get that, guys? Did you see? Just put it together. Justice.
Oh,
Just
my.
Sorry, I had to make sure they understood what it was. Anyway, let me know in the chat. Dad joke, bad joke, sad joke, glad joke.
Oh, goodness.
Paige, come on, bring it home with yours.
Oh, is this the final one?
It's the final one, so make it good.
Oh, he wants me to make it good. He wants me to make it good, eh?
Here we go. Come on.
So, due to the quarantine caused by COVID, there's been an increase in telling inside jokes. That was terrible. Best way to end off one of the worst streams we've ever done.
Oh, geez. This was the worst. This was the worst. All right, guys, we're out of here. If you missed this on live stream and you're watching over on Twitch, head over to my YouTube channel. Click over there. You can watch it from playback. Everybody else that missed part of the stream, if you want to watch the whole thing, give it a little while to process on YouTube, and then I'll put the timestamps in. It should be available tonight. If you're watching this before the timestamps, good news. You can watch the whole thing. There we go. Or skip through at your leisure, I guess. That's pretty much it. But we're going to get out of here. We will see you guys next week, hopefully with a lot of fun stuff. I believe, just a reminder, I believe Batwoman is off this week. So there's no Batwoman on Sunday.
Maybe. Hold on.
Yeah. What's up?
Quick poll through the chat. Because there's no Batwoman next week, and I don't know if they're going to release stuff or not, would you like a multiverse master quiz show on next week's stream? We got Eric versus Ben round 2. I can tell you, I have questions printed out. I printed them out. They are ready. They're ready.
Well, if we do it again, Ben needs a dry erase board like mine. Like no more.
Yes, that was painful because his camera wouldn't focus either, or at least a Sharpie. He's not writing with a ballpoint pen.
Right. Yeah. Who does that? Who does that? All right, let us know here, and give us your feedback. And if you're watching on playback, you can give us feedback there as well. We'll see. Seems like a lot of people are actually checking it out. Yeah, Black Lightning is next week. Expect a Black Lightning video from me sometime in the next few days. So we'll be talking about that, and hopefully, I'm excited. We'll see where it's going to go, and that's it. I'll catch you guys in the next live stream. See you then.
Bon voyage.